Right back. Barstools Bandtalk and Dave Groves here from Mad Symphony. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, so I was going to say, if you and I played in a band together, Dave, I think we get along really well because what I was hearing, you're right, the access to music has never been greater. I was reading an article with Bernard Purdy, who's like the shuffle king, and he talks about these kids can learn something in 10 minutes, but the struggle of actually learning it and getting good at it and applying it isn't there anymore. And he said that's really what makes you become a player.
I would agree with that because like you say, it's pretty incredible. You can pull up some 7-year-old on YouTube that can play Eruption.
Yep.
But what kind of song is that kid going to end up writing? I don't know. You can be technically awesome on almost any instrument, but yeah, that doesn't mean you have something good to say. And I think getting that comes from the depth, like you say, of listening and processing a lot of different kinds of music and going through the angst of trying to get a lick down or a riff or express yourself in some way that's new or different. But that being said, I mean, there are still some incredible young players. Like there's this classical guitar kid, Mancini, I think his name, or Manson. I don't know if you've seen him. He's got millions of followers, but he does all this really cool stuff on acoustic where he's drumming on it, and you can play like Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, and he does all this Paganini type stuff. Or you see there's some 16-year-old girl from China that plays Paganini on the classical. Like it's incredible to watch, because I think back, I would never have thought to do any of this stuff, and now maybe as young people, they get exposed early on to Yngwie Malmsteen or just this idea that there's a technical side to things that you should concentrate on as opposed to a melodic or a heart sort of part.
To your point, though, Dave, you think, and Sean, I love what Sean. It's funny. I hadn't done with that in years. Putting the quarters on the arm and the needle of the record player. I hadn't thought about that in years. But without that learning prowess, that skill set that we learned because of a necessity, because of playing so many miles on the road in the back of an old shitty van, and the character you build that way. Do you think that these kids today or these artists today can you actually create something that we can all appreciate?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's harder, and maybe people create music. Young people are creating music for other young people, like Billie Eilish or somebody. She's sort of the Kurt Cobain of the tween generation or whatever. And they're doing unique things, but they're really just taking a amalgamation of a bunch of musical styles and pop and rap and whatnot and putting them together, which I guess has been done for years too. That's sort of where it's been going is it's almost like there's nothing new left in the world. We just take all these parts that exist and mash them together, and we'll take rap and metal, and how does that sound? Or
Anthrax.
Exactly, right. And then, of course, power to them. They got some notice and they got some success out of doing that sort of thing, right? I mean, you got Aerosmith did a video with Run DMC, right? Mm-hmm. To get Walk This Way and into the rap. So there's a lot of cross-pollination been going on for years that way. But we're, as Mad Symphony, we're more just a pure rock band, 2 guitars, bass, drums, vocals. The reason we were sick, once we got together, we added the keyboards because I knew Mike, and I know he's a wicked keyboard player, and I really wanted something in the band that would differentiate us a bit more from the pack. There's a lot of 2 guitar bands, old school rock, when you have that symphonic element as well, which a lot of bands bring in, but not with a full-time keyboard member. They'll do it in the studio, like Ozzy or somebody, right? And then hire a guy for the road. But whereas with us, it all happens all at the same time. We're all sitting together, jamming this stuff out, trying new things, making it better every week. That's what it's all about, right? Just make things as good as you can, and that's as good enough. And if somebody likes it, that's great. I mean, first of all, we have to like it. I have to like what I'm doing. Everything you hear from Mad Symphony, you know, I approve of. You know, my licks are the ones I want to do, or you know, I didn't hear anything in them that bothered me anyways, right? You know, as far as errors or weird sounds or something like that.
You bring up a very important point, because there's something that I started saying a number of months ago that is kind of caught on. It pertains to live shows, in that you know, Dave and I talk about this quite a bit. If I go to a live show and I see somebody play, if I'm in the audience drinking a beer, I've got no right to criticize. I sit there, I mind my manners, whether I like it or not. It's fantastic. And conversely, I expect the same, only at a currency. And sometimes it doesn't happen. And my line is, well, I got your $10. You can leave anytime you like. I'm totally fine with that. What you just said to me is you approve of everything that goes on there. So you have to like what you're doing first. And I think what you're saying is if you like it, then people should like it, or they probably will like it, because it's polished and it's good and it's professional.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm a fan of a lot of music, and I've listened to a lot. I was a guitar teacher for a while, so I've done all that kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, I know when I'm playing well, and I know when if I'm playing something that appeals to me emotionally or is conveying some emotion. And that was another thing I was trying to say, I guess, is no matter how technical you are, just play with emotion, you know, whether it's one note or a million. We always hear that. But you can be, you know, technically challenged guitar player and still be amazing musician. You know, you don't have to be a shredder to be a great musician, right? You know, there's
or to be a great songwriter. Let's be honest.
Well, songwriting and musicianship are almost two different things. There's great songwriters who maybe aren't super technically proficient, and then, you know, there's some that are both, and then there's guys that are super technical that can't write a song to save their lives.
Yep.
But they can solo all night over top of whatever you're playing or whatever, right? And that's like drummers, you know, there's drummers who play a perfect part for a song, and there's guys that will just overplay or do something weird, or, you know, it's universal in music. But
I can't overplay in the band that I'm in because my bass player can't handle it.
Well, that's you know, you're such an asshole. You're gonna be one with your rhythm section. I agree with that.
But I mean, the other thing too is I had a friend that I used to play with years ago. I played with him for a number of years, who was a shredder guitar player. And he used to say, if I'm playing good, you don't need to tell me. If I'm playing bad, you don't need to tell me. And his line was basically, I'm playing for myself, and I appreciate it either way. But it is funny. And I mean, and I want us to talk more about Mad Symphony here for a minute, but I mean, you're clicking on some things here where I don't know what it is about. I'm not going to say all musicians, but certain musicians, they don't go to enjoy the music. They go to watch the car crash. And then when it doesn't happen, they're almost disappointed, right? So I love what you're saying about, you know, really playing for yourself and being comfortable with what you're doing yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We had Kevin in here too. Is that right? There he is.
I was waiting in the waiting room for like the last half an hour, and I was just waiting, and it was like, oh, what's going on?
Anyway, guys, so thanks a lot. It's been great talking to you guys.
I thought you guys were late. I thought, oh, you're doing some preamble stuff, and oh yeah, blah blah blah. And I was waiting. I thought, well, maybe I'll just cancel this and try to reconnect, and then there you guys are. So awesome.
There you are.
Hey,
Dave say nothing but good things to you, Kevin. Nothing but good things, brother.
all right. Well, good to see you.
Perfect time to take a break on this segment.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk. Kevin's been the guy that I've been kind of corresponding with. He's been very patient. I want to say thank you for that. But you got the Mad Symphony logo in the back there, and I really want to sort of focus on that because it, you know, Dave's been telling us about how proud he is of the tunage, and I want to get your perspective as well. So we're going to be back after this.